Shalom. I'd like to start off by giving all glory and honor to Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahshua Ba'Shem, Rakakadash. Double honor to teachers, elders, and apostles of Great Millstone. Also to you brothers out there putting out this truth. Faithfully, fearlessly feeding the sheep, and you brothers and sisters tuning in. Shalom. And this video is going to just go into what took place after camp yesterday out here in El Paso, Texas. Me and the brother Rab, we had completed camp. So as usual, we would sit down, a couple of minutes, we'll stand around, or maybe an hour or so like that, chit chat, get caught up on things. And so we're out there, and we saw this vehicle that pulled up, and you'll see in the video here, going in the background, you'll see that this Jake, they have a truck, one of those food truck, and this food truck is actually a crab or a seafood truck, and they were looking to pull up in the area that we do camp every Sunday. There's other food trucks that pull up there during the weekdays or on Saturdays, but they wanted to do. They put up in a food truck, but we were still there. So he was watching us from a distance inside his vehicle. He then decided he would approach us and go, "Are y'all gonna be leaving soon?" Now he was very respectful. I'm gonna tell you, he had gold teeth in his mouth, a little bit of gold teeth in his mouth, a lot of necklace and stuff, and a lot of tattoos, covered with tattoos. He walked over there with his little skinny legs, all tattoos up. He was respectful. He didn't come in a hostile manner. We asked him, you're selling seafood, and he said, yeah. And, we proceeded to have a short little conversation with him to find out exactly what tribe he was from, because he looked a little bit like what you would call a Latino. And he proceeded to say that he was African American, which, we let him know that, he's from the tribe of Judah. He knew about the Hebrew Israelite. So we talked about what he was selling, the fact that he was selling abomination, his seafood, and he got very offended. This is the book of Romans 3, and verse 3, it says, "What if some did not believe? Shall their unbelief make the faith of power without effect?" Now, he said he believed in God, but when we talk about, the laws that says, pursuant to Leviticus 11 and 12, which says what? It says, "Whatsoever had no fins nor scales in the water, that shall be an abomination unto you." Now, what Jake, he's looking at it because in his eyes, he saw this as an opportunity. Of course, he's looking at Memorial Weekend as a time where he can make that extra money, that extra dough. Like I said, he was one of these younger guys that, obviously he is an entrepreneur, so to speak. And by us, his business was about selling that seafood, and he knew that people love seafood. But now he's hearing it from us because we got to warn them about the wickedness, okay? That warn our people about the wicked things that they're doing, okay? When you go and you look at how Esau, okay, is causing Jake to go off, okay? You have a lot of Jakes like this that are assuming that they're doing something good, and they don't understand that this is also a penalty from Yahweh Shai that's going to come on the people because they are participating, okay, in these ways that Esau is bringing here. When you go to the book of Isaiah 31 and 3, it says, "Now the Egyptians are man and not power, and their horse flesh and not spirit. When the Lord Yahweh Shai shall stretch out his hand, both he that helpeth shall fall, and he that is hoping shall fall down, and they all shall fail together." Esau makes seafood, okay, a desired dietary meal here in Great Babylon, America, which is an abomination. These sell fish, okay? He makes pork an exotic meat, that's in almost everything. Bacon, pork chop, and just about everything.
Hungrier than 4 dudes. Hey, I'm hungrier than 5.
Well, who are you and what you doing in my house, Jack?
I work for Pork Chops or Chunky. Whether you're black or a hunky or in between, you'll love Pork Chops or Chunky.
Pork chops so chunky, taste real good, will make your mouth smell funky. Yeah.
And seafood is no different. Most Jakes feel like when you have seafood, you've reached the pinnacle of your life. Steak and lobster, shrimp, scampi, lobster. That's why it sells so expensive, market price. Okay, it's to make you feel like you've gotten over. And so he's very offended, and he proceeded. He stayed calm, and he's like, well, that's your belief, okay? Obviously, we were not going to be able to get through to him. When you go into the book of Ezekiel 3 and verse 18, it says, when I say unto the wicked, thou shalt surely die, and thou givest him not warning, nor speaketh to warn the wicked from his wicked way to save his life, the same wicked man shall die in his iniquity, but his blood will I require at thine hand. Yet if thou warn the wicked, and he turn not from his wickedness, nor from his wicked way, he shall die in his iniquity, but thou hast delivered thy soul. Okay, we want to get the blood off our hand, because apparently, according to him, he was driving around a circle and he has seen us out there many times, doing our camp. Okay, so he asked us, well, what we do out there, and of course he already knew that what we were doing out there. He see all the signs. Okay, he see us reading the Bibles, and I say we're ministering to the hopefully elect of Yasharala, Israel, or so-called Blacks, Native Americans, and Latinos. We're warning the 2/3 of our people who refuse to get their mindset out of Great Babylon, America, and fall in the ways of the wicked oppressor, Esau, the Edomite, the so-called white man, okay, to come out of this place, because this place is going to be destroyed. We've seen the downfall of Great Babylon, America right now. These nations are coming against this place, because why? This place has caused these other nations to just drink the wine of iniquity, which is just pure utter wickedness, okay? But of course, he can't see past what? Filthy lucre, okay? Because this is part of that curse that we're in here, where we're in spiritual Sodom in Egypt. Slaves were at the bottom. Every hustle could make the difference between you being out in the streets or having a roof over your head, maybe being to pay child support if you have kids, or taking a girl out for a treat, or whatever the case is like that, or whatever desire that you have, right? To as your pleasure here in Great Babylon, America. And so he was very offended. We did not. We let him know that we have to let you know what you're doing is wickedness, because you're selling this El Paso is 90% Latinos. 90% Latinos, okay, and mixed with everybody else, okay, so-called blacks, Native Americans, and so-called white people, okay, and the majority of customers are going to be what? Jakes. Okay, so you're enabling Jake to be wicked to eat this. You're selling it. You don't see nothing wrong with making getting filthy lucre of selling the abomination that we were told that we cannot put into our body. Okay, and even if you don't eat it, okay, you're selling it. So you're participating in what Esau is done to our people, pursuant to Isaiah 31:3, where those who are helping Esau in our people going off and committing these abomination, you're going to fall just like the doggone so-called white man. And so that's what we letting you know. There's a great sword that's coming on the tribe of Israel, known as Jacob's trouble, and you're right now committing actions, okay, that in the sight of the Lord Yahweh Shemashah is an abominable act, and you are being a very disobedient child of the Lord Yahweh Shemashah. This is the book of Jeremiah 4:22. It says, "For my people is foolish. They have not known me. They are sought assurance, and they have none understanding. They are wise to do evil, but to do good they have no knowledge." You don't want to have knowledge, because see, again, your Memorial Day weekend here is always a way of earning that money, that extra dollar. People are milling about all around in these cities, in these towns, drinking, partying, barbecuing, throwing the balloons in the air. It's a great time of mirth, and people forgot about 2 years ago when all of this was shut down. So Esau, the cunning hunter that he is right now, is allowing, okay, the sheep to go, the sheep that choose to follow his ways, to run around and assume that the big bad wolf is not circling around, okay, keeping you in a particular radius in which, when the time comes, he can spring into action and just tear you to pieces, okay? So, being wise men in this truth, out there on the highway in the Bible, we come across all kinds of different people with different spirits on them, and this is why, I let him know, and pursuing to Matthew 7:6, it says, "Give not that which is holy unto the dogs, neither cast your pearls before swine, lest they trample them under their feet and turn again and rend you." Which is a key thing that the brothers always have to remember. We've seen examples of this. Okay, when you out there, even if you're not speaking directly to one of these vipers and scorpions, okay, and when you have one of them directly in your face like that, in his eyes, we were impeding, okay, on his ability to earn money. Okay, so we cut the testimony with him, because clearly he was not interested. He didn't care. That he kept saying, "With all due respect, it's your belief," and all the other stuff of that. And of course, he was being as nice as he could, and he didn't get violent or anything like that, which was a good thing for him. Okay, and for us too. But we realize that he's a swine, he's a pig, he's a dog. We're not going to waste time on this guy because clearly he is part of Great Babylon America. And when you go into Second Corinthians 6:3, it says, "Give no offense in anything, that the ministry be not blamed." Clearly it's not for him. Okay, we gave him the identity of what tribe he was from, the offenses, that he's committing in the eyes of the Lord Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. With even, some alternative. Hey, do you have chicken? Do you have beef? Fish, other fish with scales, those things like that. You give up those things. He doesn't understand, you give up those things. The Lord bless you. You could still make your living with those things that without serving abominable food. And the thing about this Jake is he's not the first Jake that we have spoken to, being out there on the highway and the byway out here in El Paso, with other food trucks that came around the vicinity where we were and came and spoke with us. Where we say, you're selling pork, okay, swine meat to our people. You're selling, abominable food. Can you revamp your menu? Okay, so that you're not offending Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, and they just can't see past it because they're in tune and in depth into this wicked kingdom called Great Babylon America. So I wanted to bring this out because, the street that we're on is quite busy. We deal with a lot of different kinds of people, but here you have these type of jakes, okay, that, fashion their thoughts and their minds and their ways around, what Esau has put out there, which is what success by any means necessary, and don't give a crap about the repercussion that comes along with it. Okay, so Lord willing, you edify. I'd like to close by giving all glory and honor to Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai by Hashem Rakakadash. Double honor to teachers, elders, and apostles of great millstone. Also to you brothers that put on the truth. Faithfully, fair to see feeding the sheep, and to you brothers and sisters that are tuning in. Shalom.